I want to talk about. Well, here's our little
Right.
yesterday's news.
Yesterday's
Yesterday's headlines. Whatever you call the stupid segment. I don't know what it's called.
no, yesterday headlines. That's good.
That's it.
That's
Yeah.
good.
And this is just stuff that's not really in the news, but really big right now. Nobody's talking about. So we like to be a little different and talk about stupid stuff, other stuff. So as you know, AI is big, right? Coming around, AI everything. AI on your phone. There's AI
Oh
this.
yeah.
I'm really sick and tired of the AI.
And evidently, some of this like GPT or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
There's now a couple different ones you could
yeah,
use, right?
yeah. There's Chat GPT. There's one called Claude.
Claude.
There's one called uh,
Is it Gemini now? Is that another?
Gemini's another one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's. I think Gemini is part of YouTube
Google.
now.
Yeah,
They're
YouTube and
YouTube
Google. Yeah.
and Google stuff. Um, so the pushback is these infrastructure. These people are going to build these giant AI buildings to develop AI and do all this. And the problem is the electricity. Now, for those of you who don't know, when you mine Bitcoin, now Bitcoin mining was big earlier in the days, and people had garages full of computers with lots of these graphic cards, and it would help solve computer problems. And when you help solve a problem, and what would happen is all these computers together would work together like a massive computer to figure out these things that are just impossible to figure out. If your computer became part of that, you got a piece of Bitcoin. So that's Bitcoin mining, is what it's called. Now,
Really?
China is the biggest Bitcoin miner
Never
in the
even
world.
heard of that. Jeez.
You can actually, it comes on your computer. It's digital, right? So when you, right, so now mining isn't such a big deal now because it's harder to mine. There's less of them and
Right.
it's tough. But China was one of the biggest Bitcoin miners in the world. They literally had buildings just filled with these computers, and they would get lots of bitcoins. They were making money.
Yeah.
But the reason China was one of the biggest ones is electricity in China is one of the cheapest in the world because the electricity it takes to mine a bitcoin is ridiculous. If I were to get a machine big enough to mine pieces of bitcoin, I'd eat up I'd use more electricity than I'm making in bitcoin. That's how much power these things use. So going back to AI, what everybody's concerned about is these infrastructure buildings are going to use so much electric, they're going to take it away from or out of the grid. And our grid can't handle these data centers
Right.
that they're popping up. And people are pushing back. Some of these 20 data centers I want to put up are worth $98 billion. They're all delayed or blocked by local oppositions. Um, and more, this was it the disruption since 2023. So they're trying to stop these things. Over $64 billion in projects have
Projects
faced
and face
blocks and
blocks and
delays.
delays. Yeah.
Yeah, because it is. So now, the idea here is with some of these um, projects that they're putting together, they want them to support their own electric. So whether they do solar or they do wind, they need to generate their own electricity and not grab it from the grid because there's just not enough electric to go around. Electricity costs and the grid, the strain on the grid, because we just don't have it.
Right.
And I remember I've seen in Landman where Billy Bob Thornton says, and it was factual, that if everybody went electric and everything was electric, we don't have the grid just to transport the electricity
Right.
to these people. So this is why there's been a lot of pushbacks on this, and this is a big industry that's coming, right? I mean, they're building all these data centers, but they use so much electricity that if they don't have their own, they're pushing back to stop this from happening.
Hmm.
So this is part of Trump's big deal that hey, look at this industry is coming to the U.S. and
Right.
they're going to
Right.
put all this money in there.
A lot of people are scared of it.
Well, first of all, let me tell you something. I'm going to say something. Maybe YouTube's listening out there because you are listening because that's what Gemini does. It listens to every word we say. There were 2 or 3 AI videos that somebody made saying that Billy Bob Thornton is not coming back to season 3 on Landman because they wrote him out of the skit and they got kind of his voice in there. But you could tell it was all fake. It was all AI. And if anybody watched the final season finale, close your ears if you don't want to hear the season finale. But he came right back. I mean, yeah, season 2, they kind of had him fired and they had this and they were focused on the wife and the daughter and this other stuff. And then people made these fake AI videos that he's not coming back for season 3. He signed a 5-season contract.
Right.
He will be back. And at the end of the grand finale of season 2, He's back 100%.
Right.
I won't tell you why, but he's back.
Right.
So that's what's scary about AI. Now, I love pets. And I saw a video today that kind of was heartbreaking. It was one of these shaggy dogs, and some kid poured motor oil over the dog for no freaking reason. And the guy saw what was happening and grabbed the dog, and then, was taking him to the vet and made him feel better and clean him. It was all AI. I found out after I watched it.
Well,
It's all fake.
It's funny you said that because yesterday we were watching YouTube and there was a video on there. My wife really likes Bruno Mars. And she goes, click on that Bruno Mars short. Basically, it was a short. And it was Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga in a video. And you could say it wasn't them. It wasn't them at all.
Oh, really?
But it looked like they were actually doing a video and this, that. But it wasn't them. It was all AI. And my wife says, yeah, they really look funny. I said, because it's AI. That's why.
They did do a song together.
Well, this one, I don't know
Video
what
is
it was.
probably not real.
Oh,
yeah.
it was horrible.
So Microsoft announced that Community First AI infrastructure plan in 2026. They're going to cover their own electricity costs to reduce water use, prioritize, because you need water to cool these computers. My computer upstairs is water cooled. So you need fresh water, and so they want to produce. Microsoft says they're going to do their own electricity, use less water, and prioritize local benefits for the people. Trump administration stance is strongly pro AI. We know Trump is pro AI. For national security. There it is again. Everything's national security. If you don't flush that toilet right, national security, it's a problem. So he's expediting permits for these buildings, for these data centers, moving environmental rules. Trump stated tech companies must pay their own way to avoid burdening the Americans while emphasizing U.S. and AI leadership. So we want to stay the leaders in AI for sure, but these data centers are going to have to produce their own electric. In the meantime, they're getting blocked, and they're not going anywhere until they figure it out. So that's our news that's not in the headlines. But AI is crazy. It is unbelievable. I use it to put together some of this stuff.
Right.
I want to ask a question. Here's to give you an example. If you do a Google search on Google, not on Grok, I guess it's called Grok, Grok. You do a Google search for whatever. You do that same search on Grok or Gemini or whatever, it uses 10 times the electricity.
Wow.
Because it goes out to these computers, banks,
Yeah.
and all these computers start working using electricity.
Oh, wow.
People don't think about that. It's not your computer that's using the electric. It's the question that you send out there. And that's part of what cryptocurrency is about, too. They integrate all this stuff together digitally.
Right.
But when you create an AI video, it's using all these massive computers to make that video. And to make them look so real now,
Right.
it's crazy. So, but you got to think about that. And my electric bill, I know my electric bill's going up.
Yeah, mine too.
I know.
Well, it's going up because it's so damn cold.
Yeah, well, that too, yeah. Of course.